Let's pull out the next one. These are for the Academy people. Angeli Fitch. Ooh, Fitch criminal defense. Ooh, we've seen people like you on Law and Order. Do you have a speech?
Hello? I do not have a speech, but if I had one, it would be what to do if your child is arrested.
Okay. Your opening story is, imagine the phone rings. Now, somebody actually said this. Imagine the phone rang at 2 o'clock. And I said, no. You've got to be specific. Imagine it's 2 a.m. Because you know if your phone rings at 2 in the afternoon, you're not going to be panicked. If it rings at 2 a.m., you bet you're panicked. There's never good news at 2 a.m. Mom, I'm getting married. Mom, you're going to be a grandmother. No, it's bail me out of jail. All by adding a specific. Imagine you're in a deep, comfortable, wonderful, well-deserved sleep. At 2 a.m., the phone rings. Ah! It's never good news at 10 a.m.
2 a.m.
2 a.m. What did I say?
10.
2 a.m. Well, if you stay up all night, it isn't good at 10 a.m. either. 2. You pick up the phone and hear.
Oh, are you waiting for me to say something?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm setting you up. Now, what I want to hear is what your average client would hear that would make you the absolute first call they make.
You pick up the phone and you hear a police officer telling you that your child has just been arrested.
Okay. Thank you for the opportunity to show you the perfect way. What you are doing, and that's a great idea, you are delivering the dialogue. The technique to go from good to great is deliver the dialogue. You pick up the phone. Ma'am, this is Officer such and such. I hate to tell you, your child has been in a terrible accident. An officer is at your front door to take you to the hospital or whatever. So what we've learned is you're immediately going to get into the action. Don't need any waffle about the subject. So that's it. Now, so one, if you get a call, if you or your child or your dad or your best friend finds themselves in jail for an act, what do you normally hear what have we done before we call you or our friend calls you?
Unfortunately, the parent has the child talk to the police and make a lot of statements that are later going to harm them.
Okay, good. So, if or when you are in need of services just like mine, plan in advance. As you hand your child their first car keys, say, don't drink, don't take drugs, don't text and drive. However, if ever a police officer is going to be calling me at 2 in the morning, Don't you say a word till I get there with our friendly defense attorney.
Probably not so friendly, but
Okay, good. All right. So that's a way to start. So one, so your advice is one, don't talk to the police. Two,
call me immediately.
call me immediate. Three,
Get to your child immediately and make sure they do not talk to the police.
okay. Four,
Bring your checkbook because you're going to need to pay me.
good. But can you see, this is the creative process. You all have expertise. You just need to organize it in a logical way so it can come out with a simple outline. Give her a hand. All right.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. So the question is, do you keep it down to 3 points? You can have 3, 4, 5, 6. You just can't have 18 points if you have a 35-minute speech. So what I would say is and a lot depends on how long is your speech. Let's just say you had 12 points. Then what I would do is chunk them into segments. So you could take 12 and minimize it to 3. And you don't have to tell everybody you know. Do you believe I know more about presentation skills than I could actually fill in a couple of hours? And we all love our subject, and believe me, we could all speak for days on what we love. You don't have to tell your audience everything you know about your subject. Ideally, you will tell them enough that they would want more of it. So perhaps you wrote a book with 18 chapters. So after your opening story, you might say, you talk about leadership, and then you might say, Mark suggested that the Clorox firm is committed to improve their leadership skills. And he's generously giving you all a copy of my book, Leadership Principles of. You'll notice there are 18 chapters, and Mark suggested the 4 that he believes you would find most interesting are 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, let's just say you go through those 4, the 4 key ideas from 4 different chapters, and then you find you have 10 minutes left. And you ask, which would you prefer? Would you like another leadership technique, or would you like to do Q&A? Which would you prefer? Now raise your hand if you believe they've loved his 4 techniques on leadership. We know he has plenty of content because he has 18 chapters and techniques in his book. Would the audience rather ask questions on what they have heard, or would they want a leadership technique? Put your hand up if you say 10 minutes of Q&A. Put your hand up, another leadership technique. Based on almost 40 years of experience, the have another leadership technique would win. Because, understand, this is an interactive workshop with people eager about the subject. In most audiences, people are smart enough to know I would rather hear from the expert than I would be at the mercy of the pathetic quality of the questions of the idiots I work with. To prove my point, August 28th, what did I go do? Yes. We saw movie clips. We saw Al telling stories, and then they had 3 mics, and they opened questions of the audience. And the whole event went downhill energy-wise because the average audience person does not know how to ask a good question, which is why the first point of our presentation was the quality of your questions. You could say, as my pal did, he was being interviewed by the local entertainment reporter. People do not know how to ask good questions. What you learn, and every day needs to be a learning experience, and you go to the theater, you go to these events, and you write it off against your taxes because it is an educational experience. What do you learn that can help you be a better speaker? And what I learned is you don't give the mic to the average audience person. What they should have done, and this is what I did at Lady and the Champs, in a Q&A, what do you want to ask me? Write your question on a card, can be about the business of speaking or about speaking techniques, and have a moderator sort them out and say, well, we have 3 questions from Mary, Sue, and John who want to know about. Because they had to stop it and disappoint the people who were standing up because we were losing the audience. Now, we all know, with your speech structure, we have to get off to a good start. Let's go to the movies. Al Pacino does not star in this. Now, what happened to my sound? As you soon will come to discover. Well, let's start at the beginning. Welcome to You Have Choices, Options of Openings, the Techniques. As you soon will come to discover, our subtitle is How to Open Your Presentation with Impact. At the beginning of a speech, presentation, seminar, client meeting, report to senior management, sales presentation, or any manner of presentation you deliver, you need to arouse interest in the subject. After all, we stand in the rain to see a movie. Would you stand in the rain to listen to your presentation? You have 30 seconds to command the attention of your audience. Don't waste it. Certain speech openings captivate, mystify, and create an emotional bond that keeps an audience in the palm of the speaker's hand. What would you give to learn those essential opening words and techniques? Great ways to bond instantly with an audience so you never see them dozing off or wandering out of the room. Before we get to the surefire ways to start for anyone who speaks, let's look at some of the ways you get to start. You want to open with impact, you can start with a story. Great way for a speaker, start with a story. However, when you go from your story to transition into your premise, the point of the story needs to naturally transition into your premise. And there's a lot of discussion, do you give a point, tell a story, or tell a story and give a point? If you tell a story, the point should then be obvious. So they almost know what the point is before. So I would always say, tell the story first. Now, if it's a session, you can, of course, what were we saying with your speech structure? Perhaps you needed, introduce an idea, give an explanation, now give an example. So it works both ways. At the opening of a speech, though, you would never say, you need to have a client profile. For example, Mary went to work. No, you'd start with Mary went to work and had a problem. She was the brand new director of marketing. And the CEO, Gary, had said, I hear you are the smartest mind in marketing. We have just lost 37% of our market share. You have 3 months to get it back. Now, you see, when you finish that, now you want to know what Mark has to say because she brought him in to help her strategize to get them back. Yeah. So you can start with a story. You can start with a statement. It can be as simple, it never ceases to amaze me. The intelligent, well-educated people. You can start with a question. Think of your $5,000 presentation. Think of the Academy members first. Get the little bag ready, Emma, my Vanna White. If you do not have a question that you would start, you can pass. I'll let you, can you see? Who's that? Lisa, do you, with your subject, could you start with a question? All right. Stand up here. Your subject is?
How intelligent are you?
How intelligent are you? I hope you're not asking me. Done very well for someone who probably has a few intelligence genes missing. All right, so we're talking about intelligence. All right, if you were going to start with a question, what would it be?
Do you know how you got to where you are today?
All right. Take two. That's not bad. It could be clearer, though.
IQ has taken you to where you are today. However, EQ will sustain you and make you even better.
All right, good. Come up stage here.
That wasn't a question.
No, but yeah, okay.
I just realized I made
Well, it's not a question, but hey, we'll work with it. Okay. All right. Take two. One clap. Lisa. One clap.
Your IQ has taken you where you are.
Go back to... Take three.
Congratulations. Your IQ has taken you where you are. There are things that you can learn.
Okay. All right. Let's just do it. But this is because we're making this up as we go along. So I'll give you
Congratulations on your success.
No.
On your career success.
Okay.
Your IQ has brought you to where you are. Would it surprise you to know your IQ will not take you to where you plan to go?
For that, you need strategies involved with EQ or emotional.
For that, you need the strategies on emotional intelligence.
Good. So not exactly a question, but at least we did something with it. Good. Good. Was that helpful?
Yes, thank you.
All right. Pull out another one. Let's look at our options. You got a story, a statement, a question, a fact or statistic, or a conclusion, which would be for a senior management presentation. The purpose of thank you for the opportunity too. What is your speech about?
Actually, I don't have the speech, but
Well, if you had a speech, what would it be about? Why are you're a smarty pants. Doesn't he look like a smarty pants?
Which is-
This is a bright guy.
thank you very much.
All right, this is a bright guy. So what could you talk about? How do you make your living?
I'm a portfolio manager with PG&E, IT portfolio.
All right. What do you know that we should know?
It is well, actually, I can talk about what my wife does. She is a realtor, one of the...
No, I want to know what I don't care about your wife. I only care about you.
The reason I'm saying that I'm involved with her selling the properties which you buy through 401k. That's a niche area which people don't
okay,
know.
fine. All right. So, are you going to start this now, who is the audience? What circumstance are you speaking in? Did we pay to come? How to get rich in real estate?
It is for anyone who has switched the job. They have money that have transferred to IRA from their 401k. So anyone who has money could
How
be
much
audience.
money?
Maybe 100,000 to 200,000.
All right. Good. Leave the room if you do not have $100,000 to spend. You are in the wrong room for this presentation. Are you going to start with a story, a statement, a question, a fact or statistic, the conclusion, or anything else? How would you start that presentation if you wanted us to stand in the rain to hear it?
I probably will start with a question.
Okay.
And the question I will ask that...
Okay, no, let me see how I say your name is Rizwan?
Yes.
Rizwan? One clap. Rizwan!
My question is, do you know that you can buy an investment property using your IRA or 401k?
Now, that's not bad, however. Let's look, and we're going to develop this. If I were to ask you, do you have money in your
401k or IRA? I'm sorry.
All right, this is a team. If I were to ask you, do you have money hidden away in your
401k, IRA, or any investment portfolio?
or under your mattress? Get a little laugh, okay? Or under your
Or
mattress.
under your mattress?
Perhaps you would say yes. Perhaps you'd say no. Most likely you would say what? And whatever the third answer is what you would like it to be. Now, I don't know how you do this with your subject, but this is how I would do it, and you see if you can adapt this. If I were to ask you, is 2014 the year you triple your sales? Perhaps you'd say yes. Perhaps you'd say no. Most likely you would say, Patricia, I would like it to be, can you tell me how? Because whatever the third answer is probably why they came. So could you do that with your subject?
Sort of. I can try.
Well, try. We're making this up as we go. We're just seeing if it would work.
Okay. In 2014, if you have switched your jobs, this is the opportunity where you will transfer your money to a different 401k where...
Oh, this is far too complicated. And I'm already disqualifying myself.
Oh.
So he says, if I were to ask you, would you be interested in a way to maximize your savings, your portfolio?
Your portfolio.
Okay. Because depending on how we were invited to this event would probably be self-qualified, because that's what the advertising would have said. So if I were to ask you,
If you want to increase your portfolio,
would you say yes, no, or? Probably, okay, if I were to ask you, yeah, okay. With your attendance, I'm assuming you would say yes.
With your attendance, I'm assuming you will say yes. You would like to increase your portfolio in 2014 and 2015.
All right, well, what I'd do is I'd leave out the time, because perhaps I'm thinking is I'm going to come into $250,000 in 2016. I guess this doesn't apply to me. Because it isn't the year. It's the opportunity.
Okay.
So don't distract from the key idea.
Okay.
All right, give him a hand. They're probably one of the best examples. Pull out one more. Oh, she's already... Sherry Parsons? Does she want to admit she's... Of course she's here. Come on down. All right, Sherry. Forget the different types of openings. Do you have a speech that you are now giving?
That I what?
You're now delivering.
Yes.
All right, good. Mic to the mouth. What is your subject and who is your ideal audience? And you can come closer. Heel. I don't bite. Good.
My target audience is people who have gone through tragedy.
All right, good. So well, I think what we have to do is broaden our perspective, because a lot of people who've been through tragedy are still at home depressed. They haven't come out to your speech.
This is true.
And I know that you are going to give us hope. Would you make, and I'm just asking the audience, this is how you research. Would you agree it is very difficult to get to whatever our age is and not have experienced, perhaps not death, accident, great disease, losing limbs, bankruptcy, 3 divorces? You might not have gone through that. However, you have had setbacks. Mm-hmm. It's only a matter of limits. Some people are worse than others. So how would you describe our human condition of we have setbacks and we have ups and downs?
Life just brings difficulties.
All right, good. And what is your speech going to do for us?
It's going to show you ways that through the difficulties you can still move forward in a positive way and have success in life.
Okay, perfect. And so you have an opening that you always use?
Yeah, it's quite different.
All right, that's fine.
Okay.
Let's take it away and see what happens. One clap. Here's Sherry.
I'm here to share with you.
No. They know you're the speaker. Remember, nobody cares if you I am here is never, write this down, never start with, I am here to share. How can you, so take that out, what comes after that? Because what you might find your ideal opening is exactly 1 minute and 50 seconds into your speech. So if we fast forward to 1 minute into your speech, what would you be saying? As Michael Haig said when he was here in May, wasn't it? Get into the scene. It's a Hollywood technique. Get into the scene late and get out early. All the rest is waffle and setup you don't need or will be revealed later when I've sucked you into the program and you're hanging on my every word. Good. You know where you are?
Yes, I do know where I am.
No, but where you speak. Look, this is not right or wrong. This is a workshop. This is the creative process. You will very brave to have volunteered by putting your card in the bag, and Emma's hand magically, mystically found it. But this is high-price coaching.
Great.
So just pick it up. We want to somehow paint a scene or bring us into, tell me when you're ready. And whatever you give, I'm going to give you a better suggestion. So
I
don't
know,
worry.
that's
That's
so
my
good.
job. Ready for your clap?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, that's fine. Would you rather not have the clap and just give it, and then I'll give you what you can say?
Don't care.
You give her a
just
clap.
so nervous.
Here's Sherry.
Tragedy can strike in a moment. I was on the seat of my couch watching TV when I got the phone call from David, who said, "Come quick, Jordan's been hurt."
Okay. All right. Now, we're ready getting see. Okay. All right. Take 3. Here's Sherry.
It was an ordinary day, like any other day, 5:15 after work, just finishing up dinner, and the phone rang. And Jordan was hurt.
No,
Oh,
not
it would
quite.
be
not
11
quite.
years.
Okay.
Oh, I missed
All right, good.
For not letting-
It was just, however, you did a good job. It's very tough to hear something and immediately interpret. It was just an ordinary day. Now, by your persona, you show with your smile that your ordinary day is nice. It was just an ordinary day. 5:15, that first cocktail, the reward from 8 hours of my corporate existence, or whatever. The phone rang. It was no longer an ordinary day, and our family did not experiencing any day that came close to ordinary for the next
It was, well, 3 years probably is right.
3 years, 2 months, and 16 days.
It's actually been 11 years, but who cares?
Okay. Well, but it might have been 11 days. However, at some point, because we know you've been through an experience we want to learn from, most of us don't want to wait 11 years for resolution.
No, that's why I said 3 years.
So that's what I'm saying. So you see, what is the purpose of an opening? Is to intrigue the audience. What happened? So take us straight in the scene. Your first approach is to tell us what you're going to tell us. No, suck us in with drama. Oh, what happened? Now we're thinking, what happened? What happened? Then you tell them. Now we do know that after 3 years life got back to normal. It's now 11 years, and you might say after tragedy, our tragedy was dramatic. However, losing a job, getting divorced, experiencing bankruptcy, being unemployed for 2 years, we all experience. After whatever the event was, our family came up with the 6-step process, or the 6 stages of, or 3 ways of thinking that can help you. Right? So is that a formula? That can work with that. Okay, give her a hand. Thank you. As Pete Weissman will tell you, and please do come next Saturday. Pete Weissman, his last job before he put up his shingle was to fly around the world in the corporate jet of the chairman of Coca-Cola writing his speeches. When Ian and I first met Pete, it was at the Reagan Speechwriters Conference. He's worked in the White House. He's been the speechwriter for a senator. I mean, an amazing, great young man. So we always want to, if you're not clear and concise with your message, your construction, your soundbite statements, your points of wisdom, you will not be remembered, repeated, or retweeted. Again, as you heard with your stories, you see your audience sees what you're talking about. So use nice descriptive words, and what you saw in the video all learning needs repetition and reinforcement. There are many of us who've been going to NSA 38 years, 20 years, 15 years. We come back to the chapter, to the academy, to our meetings, to Toastmasters, to all our various venues, because we want to be reminded of what we've already forgotten. Michael talked about different ways for people to take us home. One way little showbiz. All right. Is my Fripp highly interactive Fripp virtual training, 24 hours, available to the Fripp ideas in an interactive way. Happy to talk to you if you would like to know more about it. I look forward to certainly seeing you. Who will be here next Saturday? Good. Now, my friend Emma has 2 bags. Bags of anyone in the academy, anyone who wasn't on the academy. If you would like to be invited to an event with Tom Drews, one of our members, who is one of the country's experts on webinars. We're doing a free event for our friends, so I'll send you an invite the 30th of September. You register, you get the replay, you don't have to be available. And last burning question from a non-academy person. Bring up, and I will close on your question. Non-academy. All right. Tina Greenbaum, what is your question? Make it clear, pithy, and precise.
I'm just thinking, where do I start from where I am? How to judge the next move? There's so many options.
How do you know, in a world of so much information, how do you know what to do? You think big, you start small. You list your options, and you take what will fit most into your life. There is plenty of information available. Just be aware you won't get it in one event. We would highly recommend the Academy would be a great way. We would highly recommend you become part of our family at the National Speakers Association. Being a shameless self-promoter, I would certainly say have a conversation with Miss Fripp. However, be aware of anybody who says, I can teach you everything you need to know in one weekend for $15,000. They are lying through their teeth. You do not lack the talent, I guarantee you. However, you may lack the patience. You will not get all the answers in one weekend. However, most of the answers you will ever need to know, you will find at NSA from the programs you get involved in, the people that you meet, and the quality of the questions that you ask. Thank you.
All right, well.
Is that good enough?
Hold on here. We got you. Thank you very much, Patricia. Thank you so much. Amazing content, amazing passion, and very entertaining as well. my tweet that I did about